So here I am again, in this game with the mountains. Could you get the thrill of your life and feel truly alive if you knew they were perfectly safe? Would your consciousness be completely in the moment if you didn't know this was serious business? Would it be a game worth playing at all if the outcome was certain? It's now been 8 months since my accident, and I finally felt ready to test myself mentally. This morning I went to the Argentière Basin with my friend, filmmaker Bjarne Sälen. My plan was to ski the normal route on the Col d'Aiguille Verte, which I had done with David Rosenbarger 2 years ago. For years I've been looking at the direct line from the Col. It was still fairly thin, but better than I'd ever seen it. I was amazed by how much deeper the direct line was. Memories of being swept off the mountain kept flooding back. I'll never forget the feeling of my own neck breaking. Fear and doubt followed me the whole way. But I wasn't going to let them win. After a couple of hard cruxes and some really steep turns in good chalk snow, I reached the bottom. With 2 short rappels, I wouldn't call it a clean descent, but it feels great to be back on the horse. Surrounded by darkness, I go out into the unknown with a distant goal in sight. It's in the middle of the night and I'm alone on a glacier. Fear is definitely stronger when alone compared to when being shared. The black holes surrounding me are reaching out to me, whispering the consequences of any mistake. The cold is creeping straight into my bones and there is nowhere to hide, nowhere to escape. To be able to move on, the only thing to do is to face the sensations within. Our inner self is always striving for the way of least resistance, but climbing a mountain is quite the opposite. Is my craving for the objective stronger than my will to run away? There are 1,000 questions why, but perhaps everything is just the way it is, and there can actually be peace in simplicity. It's good enough. It just is.
So Paul, what do you think about the ski conditions on Denali?
I'd say it's one of the better years we've had in a long time. We think it'll go. Depends on how much mojo you have.
You got the mojo?
I usually got
I
it.
think we got the mojo.
He's got the Jesus mojo, but we're saying don't rely on that.
Year 5.
Despite the cold, Magnus and I reached the summit at 2 p.m. The conditions were good that high, and I was surprised how normal it felt skiing at this altitude. Just after beginning my descent, I met a man climbing in a one-piece suit. He said good luck and kept on going towards his big goal. Mine was in the opposite direction. I kept at it down the face, enjoying every turn, and the fact I was in a place few people had ever been before. I was skiing and skiing, but the slope just kept on coming.
Livet kan inte bli godare än så här. Satan.
Lower down, seracs, crevices, ice, rock, whooping snow. I found myself quickly traversing between safe spots. When doing something big, you're always exposing yourself to nature's blows. We just hope we're not unlucky that day. It's a simple fact. By 4:30, rocks were raining from the sky in the afternoon heat. Luckily, I found a safe spot behind a cliff in time. For hours, I sat gazing out into the vast landscape. Then slowly, my view shifted more and more inside myself. At 11 p.m., I continued back down with the occasional rock still flying by me. One 60-meter ice line was all I had. Down climbing and rappelling most of the lower 500 meters of the face seemed the only sensible option. Slowly descending, I reached the main glacier at 2:30 a.m. And then I just sat there, in the middle of this glacier, in the middle of the night, tired, hungry and thirsty, but happy to have done what I came to Denali to do. White winter trees in a landscape of black and white, in a place called home. Only the warmth shining from a house here and there is lighting up the countryside. This is a world without shadows. There are only contrasts from objects breaking the horizontal plane. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a place born out of stillness, and somehow it feels like it never started moving. When I breathe, I get a mild sensation in my nostrils of sticky cold from the lowlands, blended with moisture from the ocean. It reminds me of when I was a kid. In between every grand adventure life takes me on, I want to land, if only for a day, where the seed of all dreams was planted. Timing is everything. A rainstorm had just hit town, plastering the mountains higher up, with perfect snow for steep skiing. I figured it would be good skiing on the north face of the Midi. Having just arrived in town and not knowing the conditions, I wanted to wait one day for the snow to settle. After seeing some skiers descending the Mallory that afternoon in what looked like really good snow, I called Bjarne and got my skis. Reaching the top at 2 p.m., I started skiing straight away and was able to ski the first half of the run in almost one go. After a few meters on the rope, I reached the second big snowfield. The skiing felt more like free riding than extreme skiing. The next day, we were at the Midi at 8 a.m. to meet filmer Guido Perini, photographer Tero Repo, and snowboarder Xavier Leroux.
It's gonna be gnarly. Welcome to Chamonix.
The north face of the Aiguille du Plan is not really a ski. It's more of a mind game where problem solving and keeping one's head cool is much more important than the actual skiing.
There is a slab that went from here. This is the crown.
This was my second time on the face. Last time I said never again. I guess I'll say that one more time. You'll understand why. You left a space in my heart that I don't want to fill in. It's like I want the pain that's there to remind me of you. Isn't it bizarre that to honor your beauty as a friend, I want to torture myself on the inside? It feels more real that way, more worthy. I bet you're laughing at us right now. You're looking down at us fools, crying in vain, feeling pleasure in our pain. You know it does no good. I think we both thought I would leave first. And I did, but then I came back. You were there for me all the time. With your actions, you show me what a real friend is. I'm sorry you didn't give me the chance to return the favor. But in the end, that's detail among brothers in arms. Northern Norway is like an unwritten book, a place where I can escape from the expectations of society and myself. The Magic Mountain Lodge in Lyngseidet was our base from which we chased knee-deep powder every day. Skiing on steep mountain faces next to the ocean with good friends, not too far from home, gives me a sense of calm. It's times like this that redefine beauty in my life. From stillness, the unnecessary sinks to the depths and disappears. Left behind is a clear and beautiful world, and grains of what I would call happiness. Six first descents in 3 weeks was the icing on the cake. It was definitely the best trip of the season.
Ja må han leva, ja må han leva, ja må han leva ut i 100 år. Ja visst ska han leva, ja visst ska han leva, ja visst ska han leva ut i 100 år. Skit i det.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done. And the funny thing is, nobody will ever really know. We are totally alone on this mountain that has taken more than 24,000 lives.
Can you feel the altitude at all?
Bjarne is so sick he can't eat, and there is no way he can go higher. At first glance, pushing solo up 1,600 meters of fresh snow, crevasses and seracs seemed like a suicide mission. For no good reason, just a bad gut feeling, I turned around just an hour into my first attempt. 2 hours later, we were rattled awake in our tent by the roar of a serac falling down the mountain, exactly where I would have been. Rule number 1, always trust your gut. Persistence is favorable, says the old proverb. Never have I had to dig deeper to reach a summit.
I'm tired. It's hard to breathe. But I'm going up here.
At the top, there was no satisfaction, only pure exhaustion. And soon after, the realization that I was only halfway.
It's been a really long day. And I don't know if I've been more tired than this. That was one of the hardest days in my life.
Where am I going? Before, I would have said to the end. But now, the end means something completely different to me. What society views as sane is only based on what's widely seen as normal. And normal means only having the normal fears, normal views of reality, and the normal limitations of any ordinary person. Rebels and visionaries are rarely celebrated in their own time, but it's always their breakthroughs in consciousness that tomorrow's reality will be built upon. Only by defying society's expectations can you find the true uncertainty that defines adventure. After laying at the bottom of the Y couloir in Chamonix, barely clinging to life, I realized that the end does not mean pushing until death. It means pursuing your dreams until the uncertainty, risk and adventure begins to fade. For at that point, what was supposed to be magic will simply become routine, the exact opposite of its intention.